So let's assume you just bought the Avata 360 but have absolutely no idea where to start. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact cinematic settings that I use for all of my footage, and most importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to make the most out of this drone. Don't believe me? Let's run the tapes. See, we pushed this drone to its absolute limits, and I know a lot of you guys had questions. How did you film this? How did you do this? And I know from a beginner point of view, this can be quite overwhelming. So I thought I'll run you through exactly how I do it. Now let's start with a clean slate. I'm gonna use the RC2 to walk you through the settings and how I set everything up. But you can do the same thing also with the goggles, but just for the sake of this video, this makes the most sense. The first thing we're gonna do is go into settings at the bottom of the screen, and then we're going to change from color mode normal to D-Log M. In the D-Log M color profile, you just have the most dynamic range, you have more freedom in post, your footage looks better. Just trust me on this, it's not as intimidating as you may think to shoot in log. It's super easy to color grade later and convert it back into the normal color profile, so make sure to choose D-Log M. Once you chose the D-Log M color profile, make sure to actually enable the color assist mode, which basically shows you what the footage looks like if you convert it back into Rec 709. So very useful. For the coding format and the actual video format, keep it at H.265 and MP4. Now the Avata 360 shoots in up to 8K 60 frames per second. And I want you to repeat after myself, shoot in 8K 60. Don't even bother with shooting a lower resolution. I mean, sure, if you want less storage to be used, you can shoot in 6K or 4K, but trust me, with any 360 content, you want to shoot at the highest resolution. And in this case, it's 8K 60 frames per second. Now there's two ways to dial in your shutter speed here. You either do it manually, meaning you shoot at 1/200 or higher, or you go into the auto mode and make sure that for the EV comp, you underexpose by 0.5, 0.7, or even -1. That way your shutter speed will never go below 120 or even lower, and you will make sure that there's no vibration in your footage. And for the ISO, general rule of thumb, keep that as low as possible. Let the shutter speed do the work for you and compensate with the ISO where you see fit. Another setting that we have to take care of is at the top right corner, click the three buttons, go onto camera, and then scroll down to style. You'll find sharpness and noise reduction. This one's actually really important because I don't want any processing taking place in the camera. Instead, I want to have full control later in post. So what we're going to do is do the sharpness on -1 and the noise reduction at -2. I find that this gives me the best result, but use it at your own discretion. You can either fly the Avata 360 with the Goggles 3 and the motion controller, Goggles 3 and the FPV remote controller, or with the RC2 controller. When I was out in the field shooting the hands-on review, I only had access to the motion controller and the RC2. So personally, when I had to choose between the two, I would 100% go for the motion controller because I just felt I was way more agile with it compared to the RC2. When you fly with the RC2, it almost feels like you're flying a Mavic, and I just didn't like that as much. Whereas with the motion controller, I really felt like I was flying an FPV drone. Now, if I had had access to the FPV remote controller, maybe I would have picked that one because that's what I'm most used to. But for the sake of this video, I strongly believe that the motion controller is really your best bet because you can reframe everything later in post. That being said, it's really important that you choose the right flying mode. You can choose between Cine, normal, and sports. Now in Cine and normal, you have the benefit of the sensors being on at all times, so the drone stops when you're getting close to an obstacle, which is great in theory from a safety point of view. But when I'm flying and when you saw the footage in the video, I flew everything in sport. I don't want any sensors on. I want to go full send. And whilst I also want to say that this is fully at your discretion when you fly in sports mode, personally, I think the best results really happen when you take that risk. So take that with a grain of salt. In sports mode, the drone is significantly faster. And I know a lot of people thought at first that the Avata 360 is an FPV drone. And unfortunately, it's not. So me flying in sports mode is really the closest I can get the drone to kind of behave like an FPV drone. And when you pair that up with the reframing later in post, that's where you truly get the best results in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Cine mode and normal mode also have their place for certain scenarios when you want to just get slow shots. And that's great too, but overall, I prefer to fly in sports mode. When shooting 360, a lot of that magic happens in post, but there are a couple things that you can do in camera to make your life easier later. For starters, it's really important that you fly with intention. And what I mean by that is that in the beginning, before you even take off, think about the line, think about that feeling that you want to convey, think about the style of video that you want to create. With that in mind, you'll be able to really gauge what line you want to pick. And when you fly, stick to it. Trust me, it makes your life so much easier later when you want to reframe it. When you fly this drone, it's sometimes easy to forget that you're actually flying a 360 drone. So really think about the fact that you are shooting in 8K 60, which will allow you to slow things down or speed things up. It doesn't really matter. But most importantly, think about your intention before you fly. A lot of the shots that you saw in my video look absolutely crazy, but that's mostly because I reframed them later in post. In reality, most of these clips were just me flying straight ahead and trying to maneuver around subjects, for example. Even this shot here where I'm flying around the horses, all I'm really doing here is flying straight and bang left and right around the subjects. And then later in post, I kind of reframed it so it looks like I'm really going crazy and like fly it like an FPV drone. But in reality, that's not the case, which also is the beauty of flying 360. Now, assuming that you followed all these steps in this video, I also want to remind you that it is a bit of a steep learning curve to not only fly this drone, but also being able to reframe it later. It's not as straightforward and it does take practice, but trust me, once you nail it, you can get really creative with these shots. And if you want a bit more of an in-depth review of this drone, I strongly suggest you to check out my other video where I really give you a hands-on review of the AVATA 360. It's definitely worth a watch and I'm gonna link it down below so you can check it out. And before I forget, if you do feel like color grading is not really something that you're into or you just can't be bothered, I highly suggest you to check out my custom LUT bundle, and if you use this code right here, you save yourself some cash at checkout. But enough of me, I'd love to hear from you. If you guys have any questions about this drone or there's something that I didn't cover in this or the other video, drop them down below and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's go.